Greg Eden, thank you very much for your time. First of all, tell us how you enjoying life at Halifax, and how have you found this transition, to a championship side?
Yeah, it has been a big change of my lifestyle, pretty much. So I've always been full time since I pretty much left school. So to start working, I think I started 2 weeks before Christmas. That first initial couple of weeks were quite hard, getting used to it. But as this new year's come along, I'm kind of getting used to it a bit now and starting to enjoy myself a bit.
What impact does it have, obviously, on your family as well? Because semi-professional players, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you have to work, you're training as well. Do you have much time, to spend with your family compared to when you were a professional player?
Yeah, before I almost had too much time, but we've just got I've just had a daughter. Well, she's 9 months old now, so missing a little bit of key time with her, with training on a night and working. So I'm only really getting Mondays and Wednesdays to spend time with her. But so that takes its toll. But hopefully I should get a little bit better throughout the year.
What are you expecting from the championship? You already spent so much time in playing in the Super League. What do you expect from this league? What do you think will transpire over this next few months with Halifax as well?
Looking at championship, I think it's strengthened this year. Obviously, with Wakefield coming down, they've got a decent squad. Ourselves, Bradford, Featherstone. There's a few top teams there, and players such as myself. There's quite a few that have dropped down this year as well. So I think throughout top 6 to 8 championship teams are all looking pretty strong.
There's obviously so much talk about the future of the game, IMG and so forth. As you and the players here in this building, what do you guys make of it? Do you talk about the future of the game? Do you discuss it privately? And what are your opinions on where the game is heading at this moment?
It's a bit confusing, to be honest. I don't really know what IMG means, if I'm being honest. Obviously heard all these rankings and stuff like that, but I've not looked too much into it. I think it's had quite an effect on what full-time teams can offer. Almost, if they're offering a contract to a player this year, I don't think they'd rather spend the money, and they'd rather save it and look forward to building their IMG points instead of actually building the squad. I think that's probably took a little bit of an effect on Super League this year. But then again, it's advantage to Championship because they've gained quite a few players.
If I remember correctly, you were at Brisbane Broncos over in the NRL. I wanted to ask, because they're doing so well. They're having an event over in Las Vegas. What are they doing well that we could really take example of? And what do you think? Is it marketing? Is it what do you think we could do?
Probably fun. There's a lot of funding that goes into it, all the facilities and stuff like that. The talent pool's a lot bigger. Everyone plays it through school. They've got a lot more players to pick from, a lot more people competing for spots, and probably that little bit of professionalism that they've got the money to do it. And on top of that, obviously they've got weather as well, haven't they? So they can be on perfect conditions throughout year. Be outside a lot more. It's more comforting. You want to be outside, whereas over here it's a bit miserable, isn't it? So it's sometimes training in Halifax at 8 o'clock on a night when it's frosty and you don't really want to stay out on field for that long.
Just a few questions, away from this business side of rugby league. Are you a sports fan generally?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, love sport. Love watching sport, football, rugby, tennis, whatever. Like watching it.
Oh, football-wise, Leeds United?
Yeah, Leeds United. Follow Leeds United. It's a lot easier to get a ticket now they're in Championship, but
is it? It's still sold out quite,
yeah,
quite
it's still
often.
sold out, but so it's more often than not you could never get to a game when they were in Premiership, but it's a little bit easier now.
When you were younger, was there ever a chance that you could have gone to a different direction, perhaps football or anything like that, or was it always rugby?
I did play a little bit of football, never to a stage where I'd choose football over rugby if I were getting a bit tired as a kid or there was something to choose. It'd always be rugby over football. Football was just more of an hobby.
You mentioned earlier, when you were pro, you almost had too much time. What did you spend time doing? Or away from the rugby field, away from training, what are some of your hobbies? How do you like to kick back and relax?
Yeah, well, a lot of times I always wanted to keep myself fresh because it were a full-time environment. I like to not do much away from rugby and try and stay fresh and ready for training, because it were a tough ask doing high interval stuff every single day. So other than that, I was just sitting on the sofa playing a bit of PlayStation. But away from that, I've got a few properties as well, so odd few days, a bit of property maintenance, and that's kind of what's led me to what I'm doing now.
PlayStation-wise, what we're talking about here? FIFA?
Yeah, FIFA, COD. But this last 9 months since daughter's been here, it's pretty much gone out the window.
Any of the boys, obviously a cast perhaps, any of the boys into the PlayStation? Do you have like team games or anything like that,
Yeah,
or just yourself?
Well, there's pretty much a rugby league. Players from all over, they all play COD, jump on together.
Is there? Seriously?
Yeah, there's always about 5 or 6 players from each team that are always doing it. But like I say, this last 9 months I've not had a chance to really do it. Been busy.
Fair play. And just lastly, thoughts on coming into Halifax? Liam Thin in charge. It's a nice little transition period now for Halifax. They had Simon Griggs for so many years. They've done really well last few years. Thoughts on this upcoming season and early on in training with Liam Thin? Where do you think you can finish?
Yeah. Well, personally, I think we're definitely up there in top 4. Looking at a squad, I mean, that's getting there is a totally different challenge. I think as a squad, we need to be aiming for somewhere around there with the quality that we've got. But like I say, it'll all pan out in the games. I don't want to say too much now. We're going to be finishing here, we're going to be finishing there. But I think which squad we definitely need to be aiming to be up there.